This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
All right, it's 8:15. I'll call the meeting to order. On January 8th of 8:15, we're in a different environment, as the public can see. This is the town hall. We're kind of crowded into the conference room on the main floor. The first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from December 11th, the last time we met. So motion to approve.
Make a motion. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Invoices, I wasn't able to itemize the invoices. There are only 4. When we reviewed them, the subcommittee met just before this meeting and reviewed the invoices. The first one, Diana, I'll let you. We need to, Jeff, we need to add each of these?
Yeah, it's a regular meeting, so you can just...
Do you have to add each one, or can we?
You can make one motion to add each one.
All right. So I'll make a motion to add Gilbane invoice 33, Perkins Eastman invoice 49970.13.0-3, Colliers invoice 19658, Langen LCT 54219 to the agenda. Do I have an approval motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who made the
first?
motion?
I made the motion to add them.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go through them. All right, so Gilbane invoice 33 in the amount of $144,383.86. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perkins Eastman invoice 49970.13.0-3 in the amount of $3,347. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second, that's fine.
Wait, what's the second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Colliers International invoice 19658 in the amount of $3,063.99. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Langen Environmental LCT 54219 in the amount of $2,929.50. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And just to remind everybody who's watching, the subcommittee meeting went through these right before the meeting. For accuracy.
Next day, we miss our motioning and seconding team of Bruce and Walter. So we're not as coordinated as we once were with that, but I think we have to move on. There's a couple of change orders. There are actually more to be discussed, but these are the ones that I grabbed that I was able to get pulled together. First one is ATP 249, air handling unit 1 and 2, control sequencing. Lindsay, would you bring back up on that?
Sure. So part of the commissioning process, BVH, who's our commissioning consultant, comes in and evaluates the space and looks at the testing and balancing reports. And one item that they found as deficient was in the gymnasiums. The pressure within the gymnasiums, I don't know if it was a negative pressure or a positive pressure, but one thing that they had noted that the control sequencing of the 2 units of the AHU 1 and 2 inside the gyms needed to be, the controls needed to be changed. So DTC gave us a sequence, and then we reached out to ABS and to MJ Daly, our mechanical contractor, and they gave us a price to do that sequencing. So it has to do with how those 2 units are controlled and how they're operating together.
It's programming and not hardware.
Correct. That's my understanding.
Okay, yeah, so I guess I was unclear, we didn't have a chance to talk before this. So you're going with DTC's recommendation to just alter the programming, right? 'Cause
Correct.
I think there had been something on the table earlier that involved placing a damper or something like that.
No, it looks like DTC came back late Friday, so this price of, well, the overall ETP price of $9,625 does have included converting different fire dampers into an open position versus the closed position, and it was a lot more involved, and I guess DTC is not requesting that. So it's, I would say this one's kind of in flux. It sounds like it needs to be done, but
So-
I think the scope needs to be
So were the
defined.
controls designed incorrectly to begin with, or the sequencing designed incorrectly to begin with?
I believe so.
That's what I want to look into, Phil.
I believe so.
So now it's $9,000 for them to make the controls right? That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I don't recommend moving forward with this today, frankly. We're still looking into it, because I asked one-on-one those design team on board with it. I think they were still looking at it as of Friday, if I remember.
Yeah, well, I think Steve did not recommend approval of this. I think that they believe that the original sequence that they had suggested was appropriate.
What's ABS's position?
Like ABS originally was the one that suggested all this stuff, right?
Correct.
Including replacing of dampers, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
I mean, the issue, as I understand it, really is that the issue of pressure and the issue of conditioning the air needs to be separated in the sequencing, so that there's a piece of it that is just dedicated to equalizing the pressure that's between the inside and out of the gymnasium, whereas the other piece just has to do with how much hot and cold air winds up coming into the gymnasium. But I think it's something we'll have to work out with DTC, and Lindsay and I haven't had a chance to discuss it.
So this is not ready for approval?
No.
Okay.
No, so the design team has to be on board with the change. I mean, the commissioning
Yep.
agent can recommend, and ABS can recommend, but the design team ultimately has to sign up. And if they don't, the owner would have to sign up, so yeah, we're gonna go with what those changes are, and it releases the design team of their recommendation, so.
Well, I mean, the design team should be was the original designer of it. And what was the reasoning for going with what they did? And now that it's not correct, they want us to spend $7,000 to make it correct.
Well, that's the way to figure it was. I don't think we can say right now that it was not designed or sequenced properly. And design, we have to figure that out first. Well, what is, or is there both ways? Will both ways work adequately?
Yeah, because
Is it a difference of opinion by professionals?
yeah, there may be a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, I don't think BVH has had a chance to respond to DTC's email on Friday yet either. So I'd like to have Adam sort of weigh in on
Yep.
that.
So we're gonna have this pending, and we'll work through it. So.
But you can heat the space, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 Okay. Put that to the side right for the time being, for the resolution. The other, moving on to the exterior street sign, Phil, Diana went out and requested quotes from Capacitor Restoration. They are on the state contract bid list, and they provided a quote, I believe I sent it to everybody, yeah, for the, building the base of the sign, as well as including the quote from Sign Light to actually install the sign on top of the base. And the total of the two is $18,760 for the sign. This is outside the contract, so we do not go through Gilbane, so we need to manage that ourselves.
I'll take care of it. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Chuck, you,
Yeah, it's not fun. No, I think it's a fair, reasonable price when we reviewed. It doesn't.
And he's a local North Haven contractor, which is
Well, they're in
also,
state contract
Yeah,
too.
and he has a
They're in
state
trade
contract,
contract, which they're allowed to do. It's basically a time and materials contract for a lot of different trades. And if you're gonna proceed with the sign, I would certainly recommend going with this proposal.
okay. Any discussion?
Have we seen a picture of it?
It would be We have seen
We
pictures.
have there's been some renderings.
Yeah,
that
it's
still
the
prepared.
same one we've been,
Yeah, the same one that we had
Yeah,
earlier.
I think it's that gray, the bottom gray similar to the water court. Right.
Everybody liked it? You were good
Yeah,
with
I think so.
it?
All right, is there a motion to
Looks good.
approve? This would be a contract with Capasso for both.
sign installation, they'll handle,
Right.
sign line.
You'll go through, yeah.
We'll all
okay.
go through that.
Yep.
So the,
And they didn't mark up sign line either. They did whatever sign line it was, they just ran it.
we like that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll ask for a motion to approve a proposal from Capasso Restoration Incorporated for $18,760.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
That's a springtime project.
I think, yeah, I don't think.
Yes.
Tomorrow. It's gonna fall by Friday a little.
Dig now.
A couple of things that are not on here, and I'll get some updates to see if we should add these to the agenda. One is the storage shelving in the two areas that we discussed. We've sent out that information previously. I didn't send it out again.
Yeah, I think the estimates were roughly as another contractor on state contract, G Down and Associates. We can use other ones as well. It's someone I recommended with good personal experience with them. The shelving in the prep rooms. I think there's 3 prep rooms they're like, I want to say almost 40 feet long. The rooms are pretty long. Just a single shelf, putting the proper brackets in there. And those was roughly around $12,000 on state contract. And again, that's an estimate. It'll be a time and material. And then the other one was for installing some millwork and some storage in the, I think the special ed.
Special ed on the second floor.
On the second floor as well. And there's that large closet she has. So there's a separate proposal for that.
Yeah,
We've had that out there for a while.
I
so-
know, but I don't have the amounts, and I guess we'll just have to wait.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it at the next meeting, confirm, because what kind of segues into, I was going to report under ours, Gary, is we recently, Colliers recently met with the state OSCGR. One of their new unwritten policies they advise us of is that they're going to be, I don't know if you heard this yet, they want to penalize districts 10% if they don't file an EDO 49, which is the final actual F, the 49F, which is the final filing with the state of all the costs within 6 months of what they're calling completion. I think they're looking at occupancy. I'm not sure what they're considering completion. But they're looking basically, I think, really just to push districts to close the project out and get it filed and get it done. So they're looking to do it. They're saying they're going to penalize them 10%. I think that's going to be easier said than done because of just commissioning alone. You have a 10-month follow-up after occupancy alone. So that's just one issue in the punch list. But whatever we do, we should really look at if we're going to do that quickly. If we're going to, with the well, that'd be probably outside anyways. We can still file with the state and keep that separate. I think the filing would be different, but.
If it's based on occupancy, the building's been occupied for over a year.
Well, I think it'd be final
Final
certificate, it'd be like technically probably the November date. So I don't know how, I mean, this is brand new, we just heard about it, I just heard about it last week, verbally. I don't even have anything in
They're
writing yet.
inventing things on the fly.
When we
Yeah.
use the TCO date or CO date?
I don't know.
Just if I could butt in here. The statutory framework requires that the Board of Education accept the project as complete via resolution once the final bill has been paid. So that's the only law right now, okay? And in other words, once the building committee pays the final bill and informs the Board of Ed that that has happened, the Board of Ed by law has 1 year to accept the project as complete. That's what starts the clock running. Now to file they changed the number on it.
SCG 49.
Yeah,
maybe.
right. To
Yeah.
file the final application, the EDO 49F, you have to attach the resolution from the Board of Ed accepting the project as complete. Okay? That's required by the form, and it's required by the statute. So how it is that they can say, you have to file the EDO 49F within 6 months of occupancy, when to file it, you have to attach the resolution from the Board of Ed. It's just another thing they're doing that's, as my daughter would say, against the law. That's against the law, Dad. So, they have a lot of things to reconcile up there, but, you know, the bottom line is, until you guys pay the final bill, which would be defined as either the Gilbane, Colliers, or Perkins Eastman bill, whichever one of those gets processed last.
Might even be BVH, actually, from a commissioning standpoint.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have to say all bills have been paid. That's what the statute requires you to do. Tell the Board of Ed that all bills have been paid, we therefore present this project to you for acceptance. I mean, we couldn't accept, Board of Ed couldn't accept North Haven High School as complete until the ETI litigation was complete, because Conover, as the CM, could not submit a final pay app until that litigation was complete because of the Best Tech and ETI balances being open. North Haven High School was occupied September 2005. That litigation didn't settle till like 2012.
Oh, my God.
And we have no issues with that. So my legal opinion is when the final bill, follow the statute. When the final bill's paid, the building committee, Gary will write a letter to Dr. Cronin and Anita Anderson saying, final bill's been paid by state law, we ask the Board of Ed to accept it as complete. And then the EDO 49, so the EDO 49F gets signed by the superintendent and me. And I can't sign it until I know the final bill's been paid. It's that simple.
Okay, thank you. A couple other miscellaneous items that we have just for discussion. I don't know if any of these need approvals, but we'll talk about as we go through them. We're being a little looser today. I guess the big item we're talking about the last couple of weeks has been that sprinkler problem in the vestibule. Can you give us an update on what's happening with that?
Just so you guys know the history, about 2 weeks ago, I would say, our superintendent, Alex, was on site, noticed when you walk in the main vestibule, before you get into the main office, you walk in that vestibule, he noticed that the sprinkler head above was dripping, was leaking. So he put a call into our contractor, K&M, just gave him a heads up to see if we could get a service guy there ASAP. And within that time frame, probably within an hour, the sprinkler head blew.
Oh.
So I know Phil and Alex were able to shut that valve down to kind of limit the water. But we're trying to still investigate, and I know Phil Piazza was going to look at the video film in that area, because it did seem, there's two different things we're looking at. It looked like there was marks on the ceiling, as though the sprinkler head may have been hit, which may have caused the damage. The other thing is that above that ceiling, it's a hard lid ceiling. It's our only vestibule that has a gyp hard drywall ceiling. So it was, I guess Phil and Alex saw that it was really cold above that ceiling. So there was concerns that it might have froze, and that's what could have caused the break.
I mean, the bigger issue is that the heating elements that are mounted in the ceiling really don't project down far enough to actually warm the space like they should. And when the heat's rising, it's not getting past the sheetrock ceiling to heat that cavity. So when we cut open the cavity, we also opened a couple of access panels that were up there. It was extremely cold up over top of the ceiling where the piping is actually coming in through.
So we do have a difference of opinion there. I mean, gypboard has no insulative value whatsoever, so it's our opinion that the vestibule was warm, above the ceiling would be reasonably warm if there wasn't a leak. What we now suspect is that there may be some sort of a gap in the insulation that we can't see, or something, because the difference in temperature, even when we walked in there between the vestibule and between the ceiling above the vestibule is about 15 degrees colder than it was down below, and we did feel some air movement.
Yeah, we did. Because Chuck even went up in there and he felt the air
Yeah, you could actually feel, it felt like a slight draft coming from the outside direction. I don't know if it's coming between the flutes and the steel deck possibly, we're not sure. I'm trying to get out, internally we have an envelope person that has one, they call it a FLIR, it's a heat sensing camera. I'm gonna try to pull him away from where he's at to get him out to take some shots and kind of, that'll tell us where drafts, where we may be losing here, or having cold come in, so working on that, so working.
In any case, we did sustain some damage to the main office. Got flooded a little bit. We had ServPro come in immediately. They were there within like 15 minutes. Wet vac, dried, cleaned, came back, shampooed the carpets. They look like they're going to be okay. But until we determine what actually happened, we're not going to file an insurance claim just yet. We want to see if someone was responsible for actually hitting that sprinkler head.
So when it actually blew, they were there, right? They were there?
Yeah, Alex, and I don't know if you were there, Phil,
I wasn't-
too.
I wasn't there.
Alex was actually right there, so it was the
it could have
timing.
been much worse because
Yeah.
the school was technically closed,
It
right?
was,
Yeah.
it was closed, right? There was
Well,
Friday.
my guys were there. I got there within 5 minutes.
Right.
And within 5 minutes, I mean, you can actually see on the cameras, we were able to go back and see the drip, 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 and we put buckets in. All of a sudden, it got a little heavier, and then it just
let go.
all let go, and so we got into the fire control room. I drained the system down, opened the drains up, drained the system down, took the pressure off, and we minimized the
So
issues.
if no one had actually been around, this could have been much
Huge
worse.
problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we would have gotten an alarm. An alarm came in. Once that's activated, you always get an alarm, and it's all monitored.
Once one of them blows,
Yeah.
you would have been notified?
It still would have took time to get there, but
So we're still investigating.
yeah, we're going to try and go back through the film today. It's a long time has transpired, so to look through 24 hours of film, we've got some dates that we think contractors were in there. We're going to pick those dates and times first, check those, and see if we can see anything.
And the balance of the system is still operating normally.
Yeah, we have no problem.
Okay.
How many other areas in the building are kind of like that situation?
That's actually the only vestibule where we have the hard lid drywall ceiling. All the other ones have the ACT, just a regular ACT floating ceiling.
Floating ceiling.
So we're able to get heat up, so.
See, we had our doubts about those floating ceilings, but then,
I just that on the back.
They're serving a purpose now.
okay. So we'll have an update on that. Anything that needs to be, that we need to do, it's just.
I don't think so. I
We're
don't
getting
think so
action
right now.
Yeah.
Reporting status.
All right, next, auditorium egress lighting. We've been back and forth with the fire marshal on what's acceptable and what's not acceptable to them. I think that, well, I'll let Chuck, if you want to.
Yeah, so I think in the design and the construction now, the design was to, above the aisles, there are can lights in the ceiling that were programmed to provide a certain amount of lighting for egress during, if there's a show or something going on in there. I think it's a minimum of 1 foot candle or something like that. They've measured it, but the measuring device didn't seem to be really accurately measuring when we were there. But they're questionable. There's a couple dark spots that, just in the visual eye, I would say, or, you might question. So we looked at that. We're also looking more from the long term in other projects. We've put in the light strips that like you'd see in an airplane, actually, where they're a lighted strip on either side of the aisle that go up either way. They're not super bright, but they're bright enough so you can easily, see where to go in an egress. I provide a catalog cut to Joe and his team to take a look at. From a long-term perspective, I think investment, I think that's a better way for you to go, because now you don't have to worry about those lights up above. You can have those turn probably all the way down, I'm guessing.
And it's like a reducer strip which would attach to the edge of the rugs, correct? Am I
Yeah,
correct in
it
that?
has a transition into the rug.
Right.
The biggest challenge is just getting power to it, probably from the control booth, from that area, just running a circuit. We'd have to tear up a little bit of concrete to get it to the power strips.
You could also put, they have those metal shields.
Yeah,
That you do,
raceway, yeah.
little raceway for
Yeah.
a short distance you could do also.
Yeah, however we get there, but I think from a long-term perspective, I think it's better for your performances. Instead of having to worry about these lights and the controls and are they providing the right levels, this is a permanent way to have that lit or LED, so they should last a long time.
I think
They're
we
made
should,
for this.
I think we should have the fire chief sign off on them also.
Absolutely.
Before we start.
Agreed.
implementing.
The high school has downlighting on the seats that are immediately adjacent to the aisles.
Yeah,
What's,
it's probably similar to that, Joe. I think it's a matter of how do you get power to it. I think that's really is what
It was
option
all
do you
done
have?
before the floors were put in, so it's not something that wasn't an afterthought, basically.
right.
Yeah, because they probably have power probably under slab when they put that in possibly. I don't know, it wasn't on obviously.
I see, so that's not an option presently?
It's like 6-1, half dozen. They do the same function basically.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but one's nicer than the other.
Yeah, I think the downlighting's, these ones actually don't look too bad.
Yeah, these aren't that
When they're
bad.
put-
I mean, the
they look
problem
pretty
now,
sharp.
Joe, would be you'd have to cut the concrete floor all the way down.
I see.
in the
So is this
auditorium, which
considered
would-
an error, an omission? You know, if there's not enough egress lighting, it's
And
gotta
we
be
can
a
adjust,
design
we can
issue,
still
right?
adjust those. I don't consider it an error because you can adjust the lighting. It's a matter of what's more desirable for you as the owner and also long-term from a life safety, it may achieve the code. But I think these other lights are gonna be, frankly, I think they're better. That's just my personal opinion. Because they're very definitive. There's no question of here's the egress path.
What do you mean you can adjust the lighting? What is
Well,
that?
we have these, there's like, I think 5 lights in the ceiling that are above. And these things are what, 20, sometimes 30, they vary with the ceiling. And we adjust the lighting to get a minimum of, I think it's the 1 foot candle. So you're dealing with this adjustment of this light up above to get the right levels down here.
So why can't you adjust it appropriately? Maybe we have to see the space to
We're
realize it.
still doing it, but with this other option that's available, from, again, a life safety point of view, I'm just thinking from that, my professional opinion is that's a
I
better.
think the whole
from a life
problem, Dave,
safety.
was that during a performance, you're not able to turn them off 100%. They have to be left on to some degree to light that pathway, so it affects the performance sometimes.
I think your number one thing is life safety. Number 2, that's a secondary benefit of having these. You can turn them down and have a more ideal atmosphere for your performance, I guess.
Yeah, you could have a blackout,
Yeah.
with the exception of these things. where
I prefer the light strips if it's a reasonable cost, and we have to determine what that cost is gonna be before we can really make any decisions, but I don't
Is
know
it,
what that.
is it something we can look at out of Gilbane's contract, that we can get someone maybe on a state contract to do it at a lesser price? Because we're finding that out of Gilbane's contract, we're saving an awful lot.
They want to close it up anyways.
No offense, Lindsay.
None taken.
I would, I don't know if Ed Moore's on the state contract. If they are, that'd be ideal just from a warranty standpoint. They
Ditto.
know the electrical system, they know where the power's at.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal to.
It's just tying in power.
To grab a circuit and tie in power,
Yeah.
you know?
So, no, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
So DTC is talking to the lighting reps at this point, looking at the one that you sent, looking at a couple of other
Other
options.
options,
And then we'll get that to Gilbane as soon as we can, get some pricing, and then you guys can make a
Can you
decision.
send me a cut on that too? Because I'll go to our distributor
Yeah.
and see what he'll do for us also.
Yeah,
All right.
I agree. If we keep it, because we're trying to close up. I mean, frankly, Gilbane's we're trying to close those up as we discussed, but just to get it closed up, I know they're working on it right now. So if we can not pile more onto their contract, I think it's
Yeah.
probably better.
All right, so when we get this investigation, you'll pull it all together.
Yeah.
And report to us.
Yeah, we'll get contractors,
next
we can
meeting.
we can get an estimate for it, work with Phil and Joe on it, and
Do they have any performances coming up that,
April,
April?
Beginning of it.
beginning of April is the play.
When does
You
April
know-
break for you guys?
After
What?
that.
know
After
of any-
that, it's
anything
like
other
the
than the
first
play?
week of April. What?
My wife's show wouldn't be until after that, I believe?
Yeah, probably May would be band corner shows.
The play is the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and then the vacation is not until the week of the 16th.
Okay, so let's
we can maybe have it done on weekends, and, you know, they're not
Let's,
using during school hours.
Not gonna be that much, it's not gonna
Let's
be
get
that
that
difficult to
together
do.
so that we
Yeah,
can
and
move on that.
for the most part, there's nobody in there during the,
No.
well, they're practicing for the play
After school.
after school, Tuesdays through Thursdays.
We can coordinate it.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Okay, the netting for the fields.
Yeah, the ball strip, I know we had
We
a,
have to approve something on that too.
okay, I know we had a quote, I know DTC got a formal quote through that. I don't know if that's on state contract, so it's a question, do we want to, is that something we want to have go through Gilbane? Because you have to get the proper sleeves, the proper size poles.
Yeah, because I know we had
et cetera.
gotten a price with an 1.5 or 2.5-inch sleeve, and it's actually a
Actually,
4-inch sleeve.
yeah, we got the proper quote for that
Right.
through DTC, so.
All right, these miscellaneous things I'd like to have for the next meeting so that we can
Okay.
move
Close them out.
on.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And, okay, so, and the other thing that,
Well, just one question, though. What's the lead time on the net? We can't have our varsity and youth ball sports for the spring on the fields until those nets are.
I think if we get them approved in 2 weeks, you
Lead
probably look at
times.
4 to 6
Yeah.
weeks max. I want.
Max.
So they should have those, should be able to get those in.
we have to wait for the
That's right, it's 2
land.
months.
The thaw.
Fall.
Yeah, watch it'll be 80 degrees and 6 weeks.
Chuck, is it the pole and the net or just the net? That's
Both.
missing. Okay.
This would be both. Right now you have the base in there, the
Okay, so you just need
sleeve.
that, whatever
need
they
the
call
pole
it.
and then we need the nets to
And the
go
net, okay.
across, yeah.
And what did you decide to go with? What height are you getting
I
quotes
think those
on?
are 15-foot height, the quote. Yeah, they're 15-foot poles.
Well, because I know we went back and forth between shortening them, and so we went with the higher ones anyway.
Yeah, they were, we found out afterwards they were designed for 15-foot.
What are we actually missing? Why aren't we moving forward with it?
We need final quotes.
Oh, final quotes, okay. Well, because
I don't know if
Joe's
we have
point,
final
we're
quotes.
not gonna meet for 2 more weeks, and then it takes 4 to 6. We're
Right.
talking 2 months.
That's gonna be mid-March. I mean,
It'll be like mid-March, it might be an issue.
that's,
Yeah, it was approximately 18,000, it was like 17,000 and change was the quote that we got from DTC.
So why don't we approve not to exceed the 18,000?
Okay, and then it's just a matter of, I'll just have to work, I don't know if we have a state contract, if not.
Yeah, there's a lot of open questions on here.
It's a purchasing
I would
issue.
just kind of caution everyone, the install of those and how we access that, if that winds up going through us or if it's direct with the town. The install, because you can't drive any.
It would just be a material purchase.
Okay.
I understand if you guys would put it up, it's just really just getting the material here at this point unless you,
So 18,000 wasn't the install.
no, I think it was just delivery.
Is there installation? I mean, we have the cans in the,
Right. Well, it's a matter of setting the poles in the net.
Right, and
They have the
that's gonna
cables,
just
remember,
be
they
a
have the- they
challenge,
do
I'm
have the
saying, 'cause you
pulleys.
can't drive on the field.
so
You
it's
can't
not-
drive on the field, you have to
Right.
kind of go over
Yeah.
the fencing, so
Yeah,
that's.
I don't think it would be that big a deal to set the poles. They're aluminum poles, and
You got the pulleys
And
on
there's a
them.
pull
they have
system,
pulleys
right?
on them,
So Chuck, the quote from DTC, what are they doing? Are they just supplying the materials?
They got a quote from the vendor that they use as what they call the basis of design for the netting, and so I think it's from a company called J-Pro.
So what's DTC's role? I'm trying to look at the overall cost. If we're just asking or purchasing materials, can we just get it and have, is it Phil's people?
That's what we're talking, I think that's what we're
Yeah,
talking
rather
about.
than having DTC
Yeah.
involved.
No, what DTC did, all they did was when I originally got the quote and it was, the diameter was a smaller diameter, so I sent it to DTC because they designed it. I say, hey, can you just confirm?
Okay.
We want to make sure we didn't get a quote for the wrong
The
system.
wrong thing, okay.
Yeah, so all they did was reach out to the vendor, procured a quote with the proper poles
Okay,
and so
okay, I
forth,
see.
and gave it to us, that's all they did.
All right,
Yep.
thanks.
Yeah, they wouldn't be involved at all.
So you checked another vendor, correct?
I did, he was higher, he was 23,000.
Yeah.
The thing is, if this is not a state contractor, we'll have to go to bid.
Right.
And
you have to
that
buy-
takes a little
Procurement
more
issue,
time. So
yeah, it's a procurement issue.
if we
really.
want to approve a not to exceed number,
Yeah.
at least we can investigate if they are on a state contract, then we can move forward with them. If they're not, then
Well, we just have to go on state contract, see if they have a supplier on it.
true.
Just
Okay.
verifying procurement, that's all it really is at this point.
So, make a motion, I'll entertain a motion that not to exceed, let's say, $20,000 for the athletic field netting.
Make a motion?
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
And that's through state contract, because if it's not, it'll pick up.
Correct.
Then we'll have to bid, yeah. Any other discussion?
So that should be part of the motion then, through state contract then, because it has to be, or else we can't proceed.
Well, if it's not under state contract, then we either have to go through Gilbane or
bid it out
bid it
ourselves.
out, which will take a little bit longer.
But I'm saying, the motion, or what we're.
Well, what I'm saying is it might not be, we might be able to do it other ways than
Yeah,
just.
we can
go
still do
through
it
state
without going
contract.
through Gilbane.
I'm just for purposes of the minutes.
No,
What
no, I don't
does
want
it need
to, I don't want to
read?
specify the
What
state
does it need to
contract.
read? Not just, simply not to exceed $20,000
Right.
for athletic field
So it gives
netting?
more options as to how to procure it if it's not under state contract.
Yeah, so to confirm with Ed Swinkowski, sometimes if you get request 3 quotes.
Well, that amount will need a formal.
Oh, we'll have to do a formal
Yeah.
paper.
Formal, okay.
Yeah. All right, call for a vote. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. And scoreboard. I know we've talked about not needing to move it, but there was a control issue or something, wasn't there?
All
Control
done.
issue?
No, I think that's all set.
It's all
Okay.
set.
Yeah.
All set.
Ran conduits and stuff, right?
No, we actually, we wired it to go wireless. It's all wireless now.
Yeah, they're all wireless now. Used to power, right? Yeah.
Well, that was capable of going wireless, so we
Yeah.
set it up to for wireless and
Might as well.
working fine.
Okay, I think that's all I have. Is there any, Chuck, I'll turn it over if you have anything.
Yeah, I think you hit that. The other thing we're looking at in the auditorium is the drain, the roof drain.
Oh, yes.
Above the
Yes.
stage, we had talked about there's some ponding, it's only about a 1/4 inch, it's not deep, it's just wide if you look at it. You can walk in it with boots and not get your feet wet. So the team looked at it, and what we've been suggesting is, I think, 1 additional roof drain to relieve that area. I think what I understand is the contractor and the manufacturer said they'll warranty the roof. However, I think it would be prudent for the town to install this additional roof drain to show that you've taken the extra step to relieve the water, so that they don't have a reason to, years down the road, say, well, there might be some conflicting information.
Where is it ponding, above where?
This is directly above the stage. The roof is, your existing structure had an 1/8 of an inch pitch, which is less than what the current codes are. So we looked at the area and tried to figure out could it have been pitched a different way or other treatments. You would have pushed the water elsewhere. It's just so flat. And what the recommendation is, put another roof drain in that area. It's directly above the front of the stage. The existing storm line's right below it, so that part is convenient. It's just a matter of getting in there and more of the plumbing work, not so much the roofing work, but just to relieve this area because it just can't reach the drains that are up there now. There are drains, it just can't get to it. There's not enough slope.
Do we have a signed off warranty by the roofer yet?
I think we do.
We don't have
No,
it
we don't have that yet.
No.
Okay.
Because Green Skies can't start their work
Yeah.
until we have a signed off warranty from the roofer,
Okay.
which Green Skies has to contact the roofing company, get a letter of authorization from them before they can start any work.
I think there's still some pending punch list items on the roof as well.
Yep.
But this issue is not one of their concerns?
No, that was not one of their concerns. The concern is the 2 that Joe's talking about. There's one area over in the nurses area that's ponding, and there's one over the choral room that we have some ponding, so.
Is it the same condition, minimal?
Sorry, Joe.
Excuse me?
Joe, do you think we're...
Same similar condition?
Nope,
just a-
nope, it's a punch list item.
Okay.
It's, an install, so.
Okay. Roof is number 1, remember. Okay.
But yeah, and we're still carrying a remaining balance of $192,000 that we've been reporting for the last couple of months. I think we're expecting a couple $100,000 back, maybe in CM contingency. I think he's estimating around 200, maybe a little bit more than that. So I'm gonna scrub out a few more of the soft costs that we're confident we're not gonna use the remaining balance with some light items. So I think that's gonna bring, I expect that to bring it up to around 250,000.
Oh, that's not enough. That's not.
No,
Find
no.
another
Well, if you take the-
150, yeah.
The 250, and if we add on, you know, it'll be 200, you know, say estimate, you know, from Gilbane of 200, you might get, you know, 450 or so in that general area.
We'll take that for the track.
All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
Well, have we discussed, or has anyone discussed with you boiler 3 in the middle school?
No.
Boiler 3.
I know we talked about it a little bit the other day, but
Please elaborate.
Yeah, please elaborate, we're missing something.
Boiler 3 has been down since Thanksgiving. We don't know. Well, we do, but we don't know why our contractor never told us it was down for that long. Not Gilbane, but actually MJ Daly took it offline. So
How'd you find that out?
how did I find that out? Well, when we were doing, on these very cold days, we had a couple of issues. We had to do some resets and trying to reset boiler 3 and had a blank screen. So of course, after some investigation and someone telling me to take off the front covers, the reset button inside, I find, you know, things are all disconnected. So we have a contractor come down. He sends over a new guy. First time he's there, he's going, oh, he says the blower motor's gone.
So nobody was gonna tell us that they had disconnected this and we could?
I don't know what their process of thinking was. I know that you guys had a conversation with them about it.
Yep.
And
Oh, you knew it was offline, Lindsay, or
no,
no?
No, we didn't.
not until I told them that it was offline. So
So if something had blown, they didn't get replacement parts, they didn't tell anyone that it had occurred?
whether it was they're waiting for the part to come in, they really didn't. They're kind of sketchy.
Yeah, so
on
I
the whole.
talked to MJ Daly last week, who's the mechanical contractor, and they are replacing the blower motor. That's all, I think there's like a 20-year warranty on the boilers. So I guess from our perspective, our bigger concern, not only was this down, was why wasn't this
Communicate.
part of the BMS system? Why wasn't Phil Diana getting an alert that this was down? So,
And also, wouldn't commissioning find that?
no, it was after the fact.
Right.
So it's been up and running now since, I mean, when did we turn that? It's part of phase 1, the phase
Yeah,
1
right,
turnover.
right.
So it's been like a year and a half. There has been no issues. So commissioning, you know, they come in, do their initial check, everything looked
Right,
good.
right.
So within this warranty period, the blower went down, so.
Nice.
So we've been assured that the blower motor has been ordered and we'll get it replaced this week.
So you don't
Under
need
the
that to
warranty.
heat the space?
We have 4 units in there. So you have one main, the number 1 boiler is a main for a section of the building. The number 2 boiler is a main for the section of the building. Number 1 boiler has a backup, which is 3, and they run in tandem when needed. And 2 has 4, so they back each other up. So you can run the building in severe cold weather on 3 boilers.
But if something happened to one,
Right, there you go.
Lindsay, did you ever figure out why Phil didn't get a warning as to why it was down?
No, I
No.
mean, as far as
Well,
I heard from ABS, because they do the monitoring
Right.
for the school and they do all of the
Town buildings.
town buildings, it's a part of that monitoring, so I don't know if it was
At the time,
lost
might
in
not have been.
translation,
yeah.
I don't know.
I
But
get-
it is a
Isn't
point
that-
that they
isn't
are
that-
monitoring.
But I do get all of them now. That might have been at a time where it wasn't programmed in, all completed, not really sure.
But if somebody looked into the system and to make sure that the next time a unit goes down, that you'll be notified of it immediately?
Absolutely. That was our first priority, once we found out it was down. Why did I not know it was down?
Anything else?
So- That's all I got so far.
that's enough, jeez.
Joe, you have anything? No? Lindsay?
No, not really, just working on closeout. The next invoice we approve with Gilbane, I'll kind of highlight, but we sat with Ed Swinkowski, Finance Department, and Gary and Chuck, talking about releasing retainage on some of the older contractors, so people like stage curtains and theatrical lighting, people that have been out off-site for a while, starting to release retainage, so just paperwork closeout
Okay.
in focus.
We'll talk offline a bit. I had a discussion with the IT manager about where to place those documents.
The closeout documents?
Yeah, and I know
Okay.
I think there was some discussion with finance, and so
Okay.
we'll talk. Just technical issues, that's all.
Yep.
I think that's it. So I think with these open issues, if we can have resolution on them within the next 2 weeks, we'll meet in 2 weeks and move forward.
22nd.
And so that would be, what's the date on that?
22nd.
So we're gonna meet in 2 weeks.
122, 18.
Just to kind of get our arms around some of this stuff.
You want?
It
We
just
can.
seems like, yeah, like I'll prepare for that meeting.
Do this.
What were you saying, Joe? I think you,
I was thinking it maybe that we want to do like an interim OAC meeting.
I agree completely.
So
Yes,
Just,
yes.
That's the 22nd.
22nd. And last but certainly not least, Michelle, give us an update on our opening.
Our illustrious
Day.
ceremony. We have to keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't snow on the 29th of January. It has been publicized that it will be held from 6:30 to 8 p.m. I am hoping that there will be a brief, and when I say brief, I mean 30-minute ceremony, but the list of people is quite large, so they're going to have to be limited to like 2-3 minutes tops. In addition to our guests, there will also be plaque, would you say dedication, and the time capsule. The Middle School Student Council is going to provide tours. Mr. Piazza put me in touch with, he has a community partnership group that is having a meeting actually on Thursday afternoon. So myself and possibly Diane will be meeting with them, basically going to see what they're able to provide. I'm not sure who is in charge of the microphone and things. Who would I have to talk to about that? That would be.
Music and the plays, they take care of all that stuff.
Well, hopefully I can learn more at this meeting. I mean, hopefully.
I would
they'll
say
get to
Brian
that
Hutton
stuff.
would be the right place to start.
Brian Hutton. And Gary, you wanted to have it where the platform near the library is that where you wanted it?
Yes. Yeah.
And where is the plaque?
Well, we
going
don't
to
need,
be? Is it movable? Where is it going?
it doesn't need to be right at the plaque. The plaque is going to go on that wall, that dark.
But it's not going to be installed yet, I guess is my
No, it will
question.
be.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to like move people over?
Well,
I'm
what
just trying
I'm
to get
kind
a-
of thinking is maybe we could just have the speakers on the stairs.
yeah.
The speakers on the stairs outside the library?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be elevated above everybody
Right,
else.
but we're saying the plaque is going to be where the
It's
doors...
right next to it, so it's,
Oh, it's not where the doors to the auditorium and the cafeteria are? It's not going there?
no.
Is it
Right, I need to-
It's right next to the student entrance.
Okay.
That black
I can't remember.
CMU wall.
Yeah.
How many times I've been over there, I can't remember right now. Okay, so it's already going to be installed.
Yeah.
You said there's another week left, but you are confident that this is gonna be in on time and
Yeah.
and installed and all? All right, so I emailed everyone a copy of the invite. If you're in public places and you can post it up, that'd be great. I had Val add it to the Facebook page of the town and asked her to add it to the website, put it on the community forums on Facebook. Mr. Piazza said he was going to put it in the morning announcements and broadcast it on the TV inside of the school, hoping to get that up on their page as well as the North Haven Public Schools website. And I submitted it to the North Haven Courier, the Citizen, the Chronicle, put it on the calendars of the Patch, our renovation page. One of them asked me for an email address, if anyone had any questions. So we have to make sure that we're looking at that Gmail account if there are any questions out there. And I'm going to mail an actual invitation to Miriam as well as to Bruce Morris's wife Cheryl, so that we can make sure that she gets a personal invitation to attend. I don't know, I don't feel, you tell me, do we want to send press releases to the news media for this? I don't know, just, why not, you wanna do it?
Me?
I suppose I just send it
I
to
don't know.
report it.
You would want me to say it.
You said you sent them out notices anyway, right?
To where?
To the local.
To the media.
To our North Haven media,
Yeah,
I didn't
not
send
like
it to
News
TV
8.
stations.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
He's talking News 8.
no.
Oh, and so far, with the, Dave Yacarino and Len Fasano have responded that they will be there, and I'm still trying to contact Martin Looney. I even tried through his chief of staff, and she was gonna check with someone, but I haven't heard from anybody yet, so. So, I mean, if you look at this and the number of people that are already on here, you're easily going over 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes without even the plaque dedication and the time capsule. So, we're only doing this for an hour and a half, so we have to try and limit it. I'm not gonna be
Well-
yanking people off the stage.
No, it's
Yeah.
one of those things.
I know, you could say it is what it is, but we want to make sure that there's time for tours, and there's supposed to be refreshments, and I've been trying to get in touch with Carrie. I haven't heard back from her. Is she all
Okay,
right?
yeah, we can talk after this. I'm the head person on that.
Oh, you're back on that now? I thought it was her.
Yeah.
So, other than that,
Well,
that's all I
okay.
have.
All right, great.
Share it. I don't know, I mean, how do we have any way of knowing how many people are gonna attend? That's the big thing, like
You
to
never-
have refreshments and things for
you
enough
never
people.
know.
And, where can we cough up some money to get some balloons and things? I know we don't have checkbook, so we're,
We don't have any money.
Phil, check with Phil, he might already have some balloons and stuff in the building.
right, well, I have this meeting on
That's
Thursday,
all
hopefully I'll
getting
learn a little bit
expensive.
more. But that's all, thank you.
All right, the next meeting,
Michelle, thank you for doing all that.
yes, thanks.
Yes. It's a
Next
lot to
meeting
it.
on the 22nd.
Sounds it.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Public comment?
Oh, sorry, public comment?
Oh, sorry, that's Mrs. Claus and Rudolph over there.
I don't see that. I'm sorry.
Can I ask a question about the track? You know, at the last,
Yeah.
at the public meeting we
Yeah.
had, track was a concern. If we come up short,
How are we funding it?
so we have like this storage shelving for $12,000, things like that, are we going to hold off on those to see if we can make the amounts for a track? Or are we just kind of going along, and if at the end of it we're 10,000 short, then we can't do the track? I mean, what's the plan?
It
Is there a-
sounds like Chuck said, by the time we're done, we're gonna be close to like 450,000.
And where we're tracking right now, what we're tracking.
That's
for
with all this
expenses,
stuff
day-to-day
already in.
potential
So
return.
if we're at 450,000 and we don't go through Gilbane, the money significance is different. It's huge between what it would cost to go through them and us putting it out to bid ourselves.
Yeah, but
It's
we have
huge.
some items here too.
And
that
some of these
we're-
have been encumbered already,
Yeah.
like your sign, I've already encumbered that sign. I think actually more than that, so.
Right.
I gotta go through now with the approvals, you know, I'm gonna go through and scrub them out and get
Well,
tighter.
You know, I think it becomes a matter of priorities. My priorities are the building first.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, that's up for the committee to decide it when we come to that.
No, and I
That
agree too,
point.
but the fact is, if it's a storage shelf for $12,000 and we're that close to
Yeah.
doing the track.
Yeah.
then
No, I,
But are we gonna have to obtain new prices anyway? Is that old, what we had is probably.
well, it wasn't
old and
formal
outdated.
either,
No.
so we need to finalize everything on that.
Well, but wasn't it a bid alternate? I mean,
Well, that's,
so.
you mean through Gilbane?
There's a bid
Yeah,
alternate,
there's
but
a
the
bid alternate, so
recommendations
you do have that
to go
price
back
as-
out.
as something that you can go.
Yeah, it's a basis.
for, But depends on how you procure it.
The bid alternate price was $400,000.
3 something, wasn't it?
I'll have to look at it, I don't know off the top of my head.
But subsequent investigation was in the 300,000 range.
Right. And I think we can get into the 250 to 275 range.
Which would leave even more money.
What's that?
So I'll do that out the bid, see what the number.
All right, anything else? All right, we'll see you next 2 weeks.
Make the motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Sorry.
Hello, Jane.
All in favor? Aye.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.